Welcome back, people. I will have to continue tonight because if I don't continue this episode tonight, I won't be able to keep you guys updated. So let's get on with it. Even though I already knew what was going on, I pretended to be concerned. Daddy, are you alright? Why are you sweating so much? He looked at me, then glanced at my siblings. For a moment, he said nothing. Don't worry, he finally said. Everything is fine. And that was the end of helping my son and my sister with their assignments. My goal had been accomplished. I told them to continue with their work while I went to use the restroom. But instead of going to the restroom, I quietly moved closer to my dad's room so I could eavesdrop on his conversation. Just as I had expected, he called my mother. There's a serious problem, he told her. You need to come back as soon as possible. Someone is blackmailing us. Someone knows our secret. I think it could be your ex. We need to deal with this before it gets out of hand. Whatever it takes, even if it means going the extra mile, we have to put an end to this problem. All the commotion surrounding my supposed parents seemed to have changed my dad's behavior. He stopped coming into my room, but that was the least of my worries. As I sat alone in my room, I couldn't stop playing over in my head. Let's handle it. We'll do whatever it takes. What exactly did he mean by that? Were these people actually capable of murder? This was no longer just a quest to discover the truth. I was beginning to realize that the people I was investigating could be dangerous. I had to be extremely careful. One wrong move could know what they might be capable of doing once they realized I knew their secret. To avoid raising any suspicion, I sent my son to my dad's room to ask if he was hungry. A few minutes later, my son came back and told me that my dad said he would let us know when he was hungry. Throughout the day, I waited for my father to ask for his meal, but I guessed he was still in shock because he didn't ask me or any of my siblings to prepare anything for him. After discovering what he and my mom had plotted against me, I locked my bedroom door before going to sleep. That night, as usual, I locked my door and went to bed. But to my greatest surprise, I suddenly heard the door handle being turned, as if someone was trying to open the door. I sprang up from the bed. This man still has the audacity to try to come into my room. He continued trying the door and calling my name for about 10 to 15 minutes. Eventually, he stopped, struggling with the handle, and went back to his bedroom. I couldn't believe that I had spent all these years seeing this man as my father, only to discover how evil and heartless he could be. Even after everything he had done, even after all the blackmail and manipulation, he still wanted to have his way with me. The next morning, he called me into his room. At first, I was scared, but my son and my sister were both in the house, so I knew he wouldn't dare harm me. He would be too afraid that I would scream and draw their attention. So I walked into his bedroom, but I deliberately left the door open. He asked, "Why didn't you open the door when I knocked and called your name last night?" I quickly told him that I wasn't in my room. I explained that I had slept in Joshua's room because he had a nightmare and needed me to stay with him. The anger on his face immediately softened. "Okay," he said, "but if you're not going to sleep in your room next time, you should let me know." I simply nodded my head. Inside, my heart was filled with anger and hatred. Even looking at him made my blood boil. But I couldn't let him see what I was feeling. I had to remain calm. I had to intensify my plan. He told me I could leave, but warned me to keep in mind what he had just said. "Okay," I replied, before turning around and walking out of his room. As I walked away, I made a vow to myself. I wasn't going to cry anymore. Nothing was going to make me shed a single tear. I had cried enough. From that moment on, I decided that I wouldn't be the one crying anymore. They would pay for every single thing they had done to me. That evening, when my mom returned from her shortened August meeting, she greeted us and went straight to her bedroom. Not long after, I heard her discussing the incident with my dad. From the sound of his voice, my dad was clearly terrified as he explained what had happened. He told her that when he came out of his office and got to the parking lot, he had to start cleaning his windscreen so that people around wouldn't notice what had been written on it. He told her how frightened he was. What if her ex is back to haunt us? What if it was someone else? He asked anxiously. Then my mom looked at him and said, "What if it's Francisca? What if she knows?" The moment I heard those words, my heart froze. My dad immediately went silent. For what felt like almost a minute, there was complete silence before he finally spoke. "I doubt she knows anything about this conversation. My supposed mother was smarter than I had given her credit for. Or perhaps she had been watching me closely for some time and had started noting that something about me had changed." My dad then admitted he wasn't completely sure whether I knew anything about the situation. But then came the suggestion that sent an even deeper chill through me. My mother suggested that they secretly install a CCTV camera without help them cover all their grounds. And at that moment, I realized that my mom wasn't just suspicious of me, she has been watching me. And now, the moment I heard my mother suggest installing a CCTV camera, I knew I had to be more careful than ever. They thought the camera would expose me. They had no idea that by trying to watch me, they were only making me more determined. That night, I lay in my bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything they had done and everything I had overheard. I knew they would be watching my every move now. One wrong step, one suspicious action, and they would have the evidence they needed. So I decided to give them exactly what they expected to see. I became calm, I became obedient, I smiled whenever they spoke to me. I answered their questions without hesitation. I even started behaving as though I had completely forgotten about everything that had happened. My mother thought I was finally becoming myself again. My father thought his suspicions were nothing more than paranoia. But behind that calm expression, I was planning something they would never see coming. And the most important part of my plan was this: I wouldn't be the one they caught on camera. I wanted them to believe that someone else was responsible for everything that was about to happen, convinced that they had finally found a way to expose me. I had one final move in mind, one that would turn their own suspicion against them and leave them questioning everyone around them. For the first time, I smiled. The next morning, my mother suddenly called me and asked me to go on an errand. She gave me a list of things to buy and made sure I understood exactly where I was going. At first, I didn't think much of it. But as I was about to leave, I noticed something strange. My father was unusually quiet, and the two of them kept exchanging looks whenever they thought I wasn't watching. I left the house as instructed, but something about it didn't feel right. I returned home earlier than expected. I quietly entered through the door and noticed that something had changed. There was a small camera mounted in a corner of the living room. So this was their plan. They had sent me away so they could install the CCTV without me knowing. I pretended not to notice it. I walked into the house normally, greeted my mother, and asked if she needed help with anything. She looked at me carefully, almost as though she was trying to determine whether I had noticed anything unusual. I smiled.
"I'm back, Mom. Go and put the things in the kitchen." I did exactly as she said, but inside I was thinking about the camera. That evening, I deliberately behaved exactly as I normally would. I laughed with my son, helped around the house. You installed that camera to catch me. But what if the camera ends up revealing something you never wanted me to discover? Stay tuned. Bye.